Hello, and welcome to Travel for Engineers. I'm Paul Heaney, and if this is your first time joining us, this is a fun video series looking at the technology of things we see and experience while on vacation. Joining me today is my good friend Lisa Eitel, who is the executive editor for Design World and a mechanical engineer herself. Welcome, Lisa.
Thanks, Paul.
Lisa has covered all sorts of mechanical control components for what? It's got to be 2 decades now?
Yeah, 25 years.
Oh my gosh, crazy. Everything from linear motors to pulleys and shivs.
I
Shivs,
love
is that a
ship.
thing? I just like saying shivs.
But not the weapon kind, more like
Not the weapon kind. No, 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 no. So Lisa likes to tease me that I have like quadruple ninja titanium status or something on United, but it's not really that impressive. And she thinks I get upgraded all the time, but it's actually pretty rare. But Lisa, I do understand that occasionally you and your husband Peter, when you're traveling overseas or going somewhere fun, that you get upgraded to first class now and then too, right?
Yes, yes, it's a very special treat. And given my dislike for the other kind of flying, which would be, I guess, economy, it is especially appreciated. So,
You
right,
have some
yeah.
ways to like glam it up though, right?
Wait, was it?
You have some ways to glam it up, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah. So let me just share some images with you.
Okay.
Um, you got to
All right.
get
What are we seeing here, Lisa?
so what you're seeing in one of these pictures is ostrich pillow. This is definitely a product. I don't own this product, but it's my general, I guess, attitude when I'm on an airplane. This is the energy that I'm going to bring. Definitely am using dissociation to try to just make it through. That's
I'm a
my
little sad. I've seen the ostrich pillow thing, and I thought maybe you owned it, and I was gonna ask you for your review of it because I'm afraid I'd buy it and it would hurt my neck in some different and new way.
hopefully not, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I rely on Manta eye shade, and I don't know that
Okay.
we can get sponsorship from them. That would be amazing. And also, my friend Anna has got me hooked on these little eye patches that provide hydration to the under eye area.
Okay.
And if you feel like you want to look eccentric on an airplane, you just go ahead and slap those puppies on your face.
I'm gonna
And
share with you my one hydration sneaky tip for overseas flying. I bring a Ziploc baggie full of grapes. Grapes are such a nice sweet treat, and they're like just full of water.
I love that.
It started when my kids were little, I would do that, and I'm like, "Actually, these are really good, and I wanna eat all the grapes." So I've just kinda continued that. If I'm flying to, like, Germany or Australia or somewhere, I bring some grapes.
You better consume those before you get where you're going,
Well,
right?
that's true. Yeah, yeah, you do have to do that. You told me something else about you had one weird, thing that happened to you with the flight attendant on a flight. Are
Oh
you gonna
my good.
share that with us?
So, I mean, yeah, so that was unfortunate. I still feel as though I'm somewhat traumatized. I think that in summary, everyone should be allowed to use the head on the aircraft when they need to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's enough information. I don't know.
Okay, that's good. Alright, so tell me when you do get an upgrade, if
Yeah.
you and Peter are flying United over to Europe or something, what do you notice in your premium seats that, some non-engineers might not notice?
Gosh,
Whether that's
there
economy or first class, you tell me.
yeah, I mean, anywhere you're sitting on an aircraft, there is lots of motion components, lots of highly engineered systems. Uh,
Mhm.
recently, share some videos with you inspecting some tray tables. I'd like to play around with all the pieces parts before we take off. These
Gotcha, yeah, yeah.
absolutely beautiful, exceptionally engineered linear guides. And
Mm,
in the case we were in a 737. So um, I saw a Chief Tech Precision CPC 7 millimeter and in some cases 9 millimeter linear guides.
okay.
And you might think like a tray table, why would you use such a crazy high end linear guide? Um, I looked this up. This is absolutely crazy. The smaller one has a dynamic load capacity to 1,500 newtons and
Hmm,
can bear static loads to 3,000 newtons, which is
crazy.
bonkers. It's a tray table.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but I mean, there are people gonna sit their kids on them, or do who knows what the public is gonna do with these things, right? You gotta
Yeah.
over-engineer.
Oh my God, exactly, Paul. Yes. So there's that. There's the fact that it has to survive years, if not decades. And there are safety standards, right? So if this thing basically needs to survive a crash, it needs to
Hmm.
survive an emergency landing and not explode, and turbulence. So if someone is just, resting that, leaning forward on this little tray table, say with, um, you know,
With or
10.
without the crazy ostrich thing.
No, there well, so right, and that would only add to the payload there, Paul. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, gosh, you've got this small load. If you hit a pocket of turbulence, it could be increased tenfold. It
Sure,
could be
sure.
so, suddenly that 10 newtons of force becomes 100 newtons of force, with that in mind, and the fact that people are not going to, be exactly applying the load to,
Mhm.
ensure a normal force to the surface of the tray table, you're going to have like a lot of moment loading. It is probably engineered just right.
Yeah, yeah. So are there any other technologies in airplane seats other than the trays that you mentioned?
Yes, it's for sure more upfront, where you sit. Uh,
Sometimes.
but yeah, there are linear guides in, footrests that extend and then retract. There are
Mhm,
curvilinear rails for certain forms of seat reclining. So,
mhm.
you've got all kinds of mechanisms for entertainment screens. If those are on a plane that allows for any tilting or stowing, you've got lots of mechanical components and especially linear components.
Okay. So we're off the plane. Where else have you seen, motion control in your travels? I'm sure in the airport, out on the street, where do they catch your eye, Lisa?
So, I mean, one of the most glamorous airports, as you and I both know, is Cleveland Hopkins International Airport in Cleveland, Ohio.
CLE, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's people want to flee to the Clee is very common. So,
Very true.
sharing some videos with you here on all of
Okay,
the
yeah, yeah.
like legitimately amazing kiosks. So there
Yeah.
are, in olden times, you and I, when we were young, we probably encountered vending machines that gave you candy, right? So
Mm.
those had the kind of screw, right? You punched in
Mhm.
the number you wanted, and a screw would unceremoniously advance your bag of M&Ms or whatever, and plonk, like your food item would be plonked
If you
in
were
a
lucky and it didn't stick at the very end, you take the whole thing, right?
exactly. Like if it didn't get hung up and the gods were smiling upon you, then yeah, your M&Ms would be in the food trough at the bottom of the vending machine. Well,
Okay.
now you've got all kinds of crazy electronics you can buy if you forgot your AirPods, if you forgot your makeup.
I've seen these.
There
Yeah,
are
yeah.
yes, yeah, like Kylie Jenner. I mean, you could read she's a marketing genius with her vending machines, her airport kiosks. So we've got some videos. They are modern marvels. You've got all kinds of stepper motors, brushless servo motors. You've got teeny tiny linear actuators.
Yeah.
We're seeing on one of these videos a long stroke actuator. So that's on the
Okay.
vertical axis. It looks like it's fully integrated. Absolutely adorable cable carriers, right? Coming along for the ride.
Mhm.
Um, Unlike the linear guides that you might see, like we were talking about with the trade tables, a lot of the linear guides in these kiosks are not going to be um, track roller. They're going to be track roller. So you're
Okay.
in a plane, it's going to be the profile rail linear guides with the little arrays of balls, right, in the carriage.
Mhm.
This is more like a steel wheel on a curved track. So that is super duper common in these kiosks. Um, yeah, what could I say? Absolutely
So what's
cool.
what's going on with all these little tiny conveyors within the kiosks? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Oh my God, right? So like the next time you're at Cleveland Hopkins,
Okay.
check it out. They are teensy weensy little tiny conveyors, but they're not belt conveyors. They
Mhm.
are um plastic modular link conveyors. So, right, they have these little linkages that are
Mhm.
separate plastic links, and then each row of them is pinned together. And that is not as fast as, say, a belt drive that you would have in a factory, but you're dispensing one little tiny thing. You don't need speed, but you do need for these kiosks are not going to have like maintenance personnel come and check on the belt, make sure that the conveyor is cool. So
Mhm.
yeah, the reason that these conveyors even exist in this machine is because unlike a bag of M&Ms, these are kind of expensive products, right? In these kiosks now, and so they
Yeah,
need
you
to
don't
be
want them to just drop 5 feet.
no. Yeah, so they have to ride on these little tiny conveyors. And so you've got XYZ. These are Cartesian motion systems that are exquisitely engineered to ensure that your beautiful little, you know, I don't know what you would buy, like a what do
Bose
you
earphones, or I don't know.
right. Beats headphones. I don't know what
These
you're getting at,
headphones,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes. Yeah. So it's lovingly bringing that product down on an elevator, if you will, and then the base of that little tiny elevator has its own, again, plastic modular link conveyor.
Oh, yeah, yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Lisa, thank you so much for joining me here today on Travel for Engineers. It's so nice to show the world that I'm not the weirdest traveling engineer. That other engineers also see the same kind of things that I see when they're on the road.
Yes, no, there are others of your kind, Paul.
Yes. All right. Well, that is it for this episode. Again, thanks for joining me, Lisa. As always, I would love to hear from you, our audience. If you have an idea for a future episode, please drop me a note at pheaney@wtwhmedia.com and let me know what has caught your eye while traveling the world. Don't forget to join the Travel for Engineers newsletter on LinkedIn, and please share it with your friends and your engineering peers. Until next time, keep traveling and keep an eye out for what's really happening behind the scenes at the beach, in the mountains, or in the city center. I look forward to seeing you all next time.